What's going on, folks? The Knucklehead Podcast Network is back. This is the mess around, and this is a review of the championship weekend. So we're gonna go back and look and listen to our guys talk about one of the most controversial championship weekends in history. Uh, and I have some personal feelings about a lot that went on. It kind of reminded me of something in my team's past. Uh, but I don't think it's really going to matter too much to the fan bases that got in. But we'll get into all that in just a second. Just a little bit of news and notes from around the league. The Chiefs did fire their DC coordinator. I think that is something that we all saw coming. Looking at Rex Ryan and Steve Spagnuolo for the job. Also, the Bengals and their pursuit of excellence has decided to go to the Raiders QB coach because God knows the good old boys network is alive and well, and why hire someone that's successful when you can hire someone that was part of a sinking ship and an old offense. I don't know. What do you think about the coaching moves, Coach? I mean, about the Chiefs and then the Bengals hiring the QB coach from your Raiders.
Well, I mean, let's put it this way: is that offensively, Gruden's going to run it anyway, so it doesn't really matter on that part, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the whole kick. Defense. If it was defense, it'd be a little bit more of, what's he doing? Because he doesn't know much about that. But offense, he's going to run it the way he wants. He feels he took Carr in the direction, and when you talk about it too, it was Carr that did most of the talking of saying, yeah, I understood Gruden's offense as the later the season went anyway. So he never brought up anybody else, any other coaches other than Gruden. So I think that's what it came down to. And they're just going to find somebody else that can fill in that spot, just like they found a GM to fill in that spot because it's still going to be Gruden's show no matter what.
All right. Just a couple of the news and notes here. Saints PJ Williams, after getting torched on over the weekend and his team getting robbed, he got a DUI. Larry Fitz coming back for 1 year. That's good news. The league is always better with people like Larry Fitz in it. And that's pretty much it. Marshawn doesn't know if he's coming back. Dee Ford doesn't know what's going on. Eli's agent says that he plans to be back for the Giants. That really doesn't mean anything. But Blaine, looking back, should they have gotten a quarterback, or do you think that Saquon was worth skipping over a quarterback class like last year's quarterback class?
I think they should have gotten a quarterback. I've said that before on the other shows that you get your quarterback first. You're rebuilding or retooling or whatever you want to call it. You get your quarterback first. Yeah, you went with Saquon, but won't you? Okay, so now Saquon's going to have to wait even longer unless they grab a veteran quarterback off the free agent market because Eli's done. So to think that you're going to win with Eli, I'm not buying it. So you get a veteran quarterback, maybe you'll have a shot at the playoffs next year. But otherwise, you get a quarterback this year. He's got to go through his grooming. He's not, nobody's going to expect you to get there, with the rookie quarterback, not go all the way anyway, not to the big dance. So if you had gotten your running back or passed on Saquon and gotten one of the quarterbacks last draft, you would have had Nick Chubb, Sony Michel still on the board, maybe. I don't know. Did the Giants have 2 picks or 1 pick in the first round?
1.
I think they had 1. Okay, so Nick Chubb was still there in the second.
Yeah, I think Saquon is worth the talent personally.
Well, it depends on how you look at it. If you're looking to win right away, no. If you're looking to win down the road, okay, I can buy that. If you want to just say that, okay, we're gonna take this slowly, but they were feeding the the crap that we're out to do it now. So, and that's not happening, as we saw.
What about you, Coach?
I think the Giants were looking at this saying, look, we need that tailback to help carry that load for Eli. So in case it does get down to trouble of just trying to throw the ball too much, we couldn't run the ball last season the season before that. So we bring in this big back to not only block and help out, but also carry that workload. And he has proven that he can do that. It's just that, unfortunately, Eli also didn't have an O-line in front of him either. He had too many injuries go down with guys, rookies playing, and et cetera. So, I mean, Eli is going to come back for one more season. And I got a feeling that in this one, they're going to either draft a QB or they're going to go searching for one. And you never know where, as we said, a free agent of Mr. Nick Foles is going to be up there. Is he going to jump over to the Giants, or is he going to go play somewhere else? Who knows what's going to happen in the next little bit, but they've already started talking about all that stuff. And like I said, I got a feeling the Giants are going to try to find somebody to groom for Manning's replacement.
So one more thing here.
Go ahead.
Always one more thing.
Always one more thing. I was waiting for Chris to pick up for that one. The thing is that, okay, so say that Saquon Barkley is one of these running backs that has, on a limited shelf life, and he's not one of these like a Adrian Foster. He doesn't end up being an Adrian Foster, but more like a Ray Rice. Okay, what are you doing? So he's taking all this wear on him right now. You'll be taking all this wear on him, in the next year or two, and you've just wasted it. And that's why I'm saying that, you go for the quarterback first. As far as Nick Foles is concerned, I get it. He's been successful, but I'm not buying that, he's going to take any team anywhere on a full season. I mean, look what happened to him at the beginning of the Eagles season this year.
Well, real quick, let's get into that. So why don't we hear from you, Blaine? Why don't you expand on that just a little bit, and then we'll pass it over to Coach Shane. What would you do if you were the Eagles GM?
If I was the Eagles GM, I'd just say, hey, Nick, you want to come back another year as a backup? No, okay, bye. What did he do at the beginning? What did he do at the beginning of the year when Carson Wentz was still down?
Yeah, but that whole team was still in disarray anyways. That whole team, it didn't matter. Even if Wentz was in there, I don't see them performing the same. I think they still would have been in that same stagnant Eagles team until they got their stuff back on track, which took them a little while longer too. So I think, considering what Foles just pulled off in this last little bit, as well as last season winning a Super Bowl as well, and playing the way that he did play, look at offensively, he didn't do a bad job against these Saints in these last couple of games. It was the defense that couldn't keep Drew Brees and them from scoring. So he did what he had to do, and he upped his stock. That's the biggest thing. So there's no way in the world he's going to stay in Philly. That's not going to happen at all. And they're not getting rid of Carson Wentz. They can only keep one of these guys. So Foles is now going to be looking around saying, where am I going to go? Now, there's rumors he might be going to Arizona. There's a lot of rumors even out to Miami. There's a lot of things that are happening. But I'm just saying is the Giants need to honestly take a good look and say, hey, you know what? This guy has proven that he can do some things. It's just that will it fit in what our budget is and what we need? Because, look, it doesn't matter who you have at quarterback, right? If you don't have an O-line to block you and protect you, you're still going to be getting sacked. And that's where it's also going to start too. So there's a lot of things up front that need to get fixed, as well as also another bit of a threat at the receiver position, because Odell did not play a full season by all means. He had his own complaining departments and things like that. So you're right. Barkley can't be taking that much punishment unless he's also got guys out there that are in the receiving core too that can also help. But again, if you don't have an O-line that can also help you for a little bit, I mean, you're in trouble. Or
quarterback.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, like I said, but as for a quarterback, though, I mean, really, if Manning played as much as he did and had a little bit more time at certain things, he may have shocked everybody too. I mean, look at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh had probably one of the best O-line, but Rothenberg, he messed himself up. He holds on to the ball too long.
A shell of himself.
He did everything. Yeah. And the rumors going around on Pittsburgh right now is they're in the contract extensions for him right now. They've already started contract extensions because they know how much the cap is going to kill them. I mean, it's going to be hard. So they already got to start negotiating this whole thing.
Oh yeah. Well, they don't have anybody that's ready to step in either.
No, they've got nobody.
I don't get what's going on. I don't get what's going on with that franchise right now.
Pittsburgh is in a lot of trouble when it comes to this whole salary cap, with the whole issues of Antonio Brown and everybody else not playing nice with each other and stuff like this. So I'm just saying is that if you're already starting negotiations on a contract with a 36-year-old guy here who hasn't really have a great track record lately with his attitude, I mean, it's going to be real interesting to see what they go with this. And I just think, honestly, with the rumors galloping around, you're going to also be seeing a new coach if things don't pick up pretty fast, because there's a lot of heat put on him right now for that season of where it went to, too.
Yeah.
Should not have had that kind of a season with all those weapons. You can't get guys to play for you.
Well, that's the thing. You lost that locker room. He lost that locker room, and he allowed the players to take over. And when you do that, and it's not working the way you think it should by winning, then you're in a lot of trouble.
Can you say Marvin Lewis?
Oh, you can say a million coaches.
Same thing.
Million coaches.
No, I mean the same thing with losing the locker room.
But Marvin Lewis didn't have 2 stars that just refused to play.
You know, he had a bunch of knuckleheads on there that would take him out of games.
Look, when you got your star players that are doing that, and then you've got all the gossip and rumors also happening too. Upstairs, in that GM and owner got to look down and say, okay, you know what? This ship is sinking. We got to start getting rid of the captain, and that's that head coach. You got to get rid of him. Bam, bring somebody in.
Justified or unjustified, I agree. You know, it always goes. You know, somebody's going to be the scapegoat.
Yeah,
and I'm like I said, I mean, justified or unjustified, because I think that Marvin Lewis. I think Tomlin is a big part of that. I believe he's lost the locker room. I believe it's lack of him coming down on these guys, keeping them focused. So he's responsible for it too. But I don't think that fixes all of their problems there.
Yeah, well, I mean, that organization believes in sticking with the head coach through thick and thin. So I don't think that move's coming this year. If it does come, I think that's. I think they're going to stick with him a little bit longer, just because that's the way the Rooney's have done it for a long time. I don't know why the GM gets to duck all these problems. Like, he isn't part of the issue either. I mean, it's an institutional issue.
Yeah, and Chris,
and it's going to bite
Chris,
him.
I'm sorry, that's fine by me, because that means my Ravens will take the division again.
You guys
they're not going to take the division, man. Come
on.
Well,
the Browns and Browns are the only viable.
I was worried about the Browns.
I'd be very worried about the Browns.
I am worried about the Browns. I'm not. That's what I'm saying. I'm giving them cred. Yeah. No, Pittsburgh will still be competitive. If they get things straight, but. You know, they're a dysfunction now. They're just a total dysfunction. And so are the Bengals.
Yeah, at least the Bengals have a little bit of talent on that team, though.
Did you ever think that we'd be sitting here talking about the Browns being less dysfunctional than Pittsburgh and the Bengals right now?
Yeah, once they got rid of those two horrible coaches, I think they're going the right direction.
I still don't trust the owner, though.
Yeah. So let's get into the game. Let's get into the games over the weekend. We'll start in the Superdome. Both games went to overtime, which I think if you told me at the beginning of the weekend that both championship games are going to overtime, I would be a happy boy. I think that they should all go to overtime, ideally, just to make it a punch counter punch kind of deal, and it was great. It was great excitement, but again, the refs took the air out of the whole thing. But before we get to the refs, let me start with you, Coach. What did you think about how both teams played and the game plans, and just what did you think about the game in general? Just kind of like an overview of what you thought. You liked it about the Saints and the Rams, or just like about what they did.
No, I mean, look at. When it comes to this type of games, the pressure that they're under right away, especially the home team to win. I mean, it's there. It's in their favor naturally. But the Rams coming in there too, saying, listen, we're not going to be beat. So they came in with that attitude very strong. I thought both coaches played smart game calling out there of what they want to do. There's just a lot of missed opportunities. But then as the game went on, you also saw the frustrations due to the fact of certain calls and non-calls being made too at certain times. When that happens, you start to see things sway, but there was no question that it did build up into which it was, getting pretty intense at certain times, certain situations. And the coaches, I think, called what they needed to do, the way they ran the ball or passed it or whatever it might be. But again, you could also tell that the Rams were having a little bit of problems with the play calling at the end because of the noise too. So Goff made his mistakes, and I mean, that's what's going to happen. But I mean, like I said, is overall, I liked how the games went. But I'll always say this is that I really have a hard time with the overtimes by just allowing that coin toss, and the one team that wins it gets that chance to score and win it right then and there. Up here, when you play in the CFL, you both get the opportunity to go. You both get that chance to try to score. So, I mean, when you look at it and say, wow, I mean, it's a luck of a ref throwing a coin, really is what it comes down to as well in certain things. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff you can complain about, and the NFL is going to be looking at tons of different things when it comes to pass interference, et cetera. But overall, like I said, I mean, it was a good play calling by the Rams and Saints games.
Yeah, see, I think that the Rams were a little bit too conservative. I think they should have lost that game for a whole slew of reasons. Just before we get into the refs, what do you think about the Rams and the Saints there, Blaine?
Well, I want to ask the coach a quick question. In the CFL, what's the time? How long is the overtime quarter?
The overtime quarters is basically you both get the same series. So what they do is they start it off at the 35, and they say, okay, you get to go down and you get to try to score it. As soon as you as soon as you score, as an example, I take a field goal or a touchdown, the opposing team gets the same opportunity. So let's say
there's no time factor.
There is a time factor of they play it for the same 15 like that.
It's like college.
That's right. But
so it's 15 minutes.
But the thing is you're giving both teams a chance. So if I can only score a field goal, I then say my opposing, the other team goes out there and says, well, let's get a touchdown. We win it. You know what I mean? But if I get a field goal as well, well, we'll do another set. Let's do this again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what it comes down to. The problem is
there's a 15.
Yeah, but the problem is though is that
time?
Right.
Okay.
But again, like I said, is they have a little bit more chance at both teams trying to do something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Compared to just saying how the biggest controversy going to be happening right now is you never gave Mahomes a chance on the field because Brady scored that touchdown. So could Kansas City actually have done something themselves?
Right. And the reason I was asking that is because what did we just change the rule to 10 minutes in overtime for player safety, quote unquote?
Yeah, but
I'm doing
but the problem is that when you're going to the playoffs, they're going to play till they got a winner, right?
Right, but they only give you 10. What, they gave you 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't matter in the playoffs.
Okay.
The playoffs can play until you have a winner.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is the quarter is measured in 10 minutes. Right?
No, the 10, I think it's 15, isn't it?
Not unless they just do that for the playoffs, because I believe it was just 10 minutes. It's 10 minutes during the season. They changed it because of supposedly, quote unquote, player safety. But I'm sorry, Coach, were you saying something? Did I cut you off?
No. I'm just saying is that, like I said, is my problem is that if you're going to do something during the regular season of that time frame and blah 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 and one shot, okay. But when it comes to playoffs and etc., I just don't understand how we can justify allowing only the one team that scores and that's it, game over, touchdown. You don't give another opportunity for the other team to also try to say, okay, give us a chance. You know what I mean? To see what we can do. We don't do it, then fine. You know what I mean? It's no different than playing a regular game.
I like that in the playoffs. But the thing is, my point about the time factor is that if we had 15 minutes during that game, Mahomes would have gotten the ball back.
No, it's 15 in the playoffs. It's 15 in the playoffs, 10 in the regular season.
Oh, it is 15 in the playoffs?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. It's 15 in the playoffs.
So I would go with
more. Yeah. But
I would go with change and huh?
Sorry, this is an argument that people have been having for a long time because there's a lot of people that like the college way or the CFL way better. And every time there's something that happens like this in a playoff game or in an important game, all the people that want to change that come out.
Well, you know that the team that has the ball first is going to try to milk the clock, especially during the regular season where it's it's a shorter amount of time, and give the opposing team as little time as possible to come back and try to win. So I mean, it just makes perfect, that just makes common sense strategy. But as far as this Rams game is concerned, I'm gonna tell you both games, they were great, entertaining for the most part. Like you said, Chris, overtime for both of them. And we all got to see a little extra football, but some of it we didn't want to see. I'm really disappointed in the defense in these games. The Saints defense was not the same. I mean, they were just letting the Rams it didn't look like the same team.
Yeah, I mean, you did have the 4 top offenses in the NFL playing. You had number 1 through 4, playing in the games. I think they did a pretty good job. So let's just get into what some of the weird things that happened. What do you guys think about them pretty much benching Todd Gurley, Coach?
Wow. I mean, look, what was the bench for, though? Is it because he was limbering on something?
He just said he played sorry. That was his exact quote. They said, "Were you hurt?" He said, "No, I was playing sorry." That was his quote.
Right. So put it this way: they're very fortunate that they had C.J. Anderson covering for him. You know what I mean? And I mean, that's really what it comes down to is when you've got that type of weaponry, you're very lucky. Now, whatever's going on with Gurley, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like there could be a lot more other things happen that nobody knows about other than that team and coach. But they had the advantage to have somebody fill in for him in that way. I was just I was more shocked about them running what I thought was a little bit more slower, like you said at times. I thought Rams would have came out a little bit more faster on the offensive side of it. You're running a little bit more of a 2-minute drill, a little bit more quicker pace to catch the Saints off guard at times. And that didn't happen like I thought. So that's where I'm saying is when you said more conservative, to me, that's the conservative part I see in that offense from the Rams.
They haven't been the same since they lost Cooper Kupp. My opinion. No,
they haven't. They missed that one. You missed that threat. You haven't found somebody in there that can just kind of cover it real fast like that, like he could do. And that does make a big difference. So you're right. They take it in that, okay, well, we'll slow the game down a little bit. But you almost slow it down too much, even for their liking.
All right, Blaine, let's get into it. What do you think about the refs?
So you're expecting me to put my tinfoil hat on right now, aren't you?
Yeah.
It is what it is, guys. I mean, whether you want to believe, what
they suck.
They do. If you want to believe that it's just that they're that bad, then believe that. If you want to believe that there's something else going on there, then I'm not going to get all into that. You can believe that, but I'm going to tell you, when you're an official standing right in front of the play, looking at the play, and I can't tell you how many times I've seen this happen over the season, over the past seasons, and over these playoffs. He's looking straight at the play, and he misses the fact that the defender doesn't turn around, gets there early, leads with his head. Get off the field, then. Why are you collecting a paycheck?
I think you're supposed to be the best of the best refs.
Yeah, these are supposed to be the best of the best. So, and as far as these guys that are like on the goal line and can't seem to see whether it's a touchdown or not. You know, here's the thing. Why don't these refs confer more? I see them cuddle together, a lot, but it seems like they don't. On some of these controversial plays, they don't ask for help. They just make a call, and then nobody comes over and corrects them. I think that what they need, and this is not very popular, but to get it right and to keep the integrity of the game, you need to bring more technology into it, which means you should be able to challenge calls. Now, here's the one. What I'm thinking is not every holding call, not every pass interference calls on third down, big key plays like this one. I'm going to tell you, Roby Coleman got away with that one, and he got away with one earlier on third down, a big third down that wasn't converted by the Saints because he got there early, and it should have been a pass interference call.
Look at
nobody's talking about that.
The governors, though, the boards, they denied these guys the PI challenges. They messed themselves up last season when they all went to the boards and said, what do you guys think about let's get the owners, and you guys want to put the PI in, challenging it, blah, blah, blah. Oh, no, it'll slow the game down. I was on the Jim Rome show, and they asked and said the same thing. I said, up here in Canada where we can challenge it, it does not slow the game down. Is it always perfect? No, but it does give you that bird's eye view from a camera that says, yes, it was. And look at when you don't call it when the ball's behind the guy and you hit the dude out of bounds and you're not calling anything, dude, that's pass interference. I don't care what it is. All right. But that's what happens. And they don't call it. You're right. I should have thrown out that flag from a coach and said, give me a break. Well, and that's the problem.
The other way you can do it, is you can do it the way soccer does it. And the way, I don't know if you guys watched the World Cup this last year, and MLS has it, is when there's something that happens in the penalty box for a penalty, upstairs looks at it.
Yeah, but
if they think that it's something that has to be reviewed, they tell the ref, you need to go look at this.
But the problem is that the governors' meetings, they all said the same thing, is that it's going to slow the game down. You're already slow. You're already slow as it is.
Well, Sean Payton's on the rules committee, so let's see what happens.
But he was one that brought that up and said we talked about it last year, and we said no, let's not do it until it always happens to you. I wonder if they'll bring it up again, though. They have no choice.
Bring it and here's the thing. I look at even if it slows the game, even with the delays in the game now,
it's not going to slow the game down.
Here's the thing. We've been doing the review thing for how many years now? It's become part of it. For me, it doesn't take anything away from the game. It adds to it.
Look,
if nothing else, it gives me another commercial to go and drain the beer.
You got more commercials than anybody else. I mean, that's what slows the game down. You got more commercials than anybody else.
You got it.
So, I mean, and each commercial is bringing in $30 million. So NFL's not going to slow it down. But the problem is like I said, when it comes to the PIs, you got the cameras and the technology already there. The thing is that you can't challenge it. And unless you get somebody upstairs, like you said, Chris, where the war room is saying, whoa, slow down. We got to look at this one. Mm-hmm. Okay. That's the only way this stuff's going to get taken care of and be fair. And that's the problem. Right now, you're not being fair to anybody or any team.
An extra official in the booth is what you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm all for that.
Because the way the idea with the soccer the way the soccer team does it is you're not taking the game away from the ref. The ref gets the final call, as opposed to the ref just makes the call after one of his guys comes and says, "This is what I saw." Someone can say, "Hey, you need to check that guy's work because you're the head ref on the field because this one looks pretty egregious."
Well, we already see up here in Canada, they already do that, right? You get one challenge flag now, but if it's not called and if they don't radio down and say, whoa, you better check that one, and I throw out that challenge flag, okay, and I win, that's okay, but I've lost that challenge for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Right now I don't like that.
How about we go to the other game and the play with Edelman, the fact
Oh,
that they overturned it.
exactly. Right? Like, look at on both games. You look at both games. You'll say these refs were all inconsistent on everything. There was nothing consistent about playing out there, other than the fact that you let. If I'm going to let this go, they look at it and say, "Well, okay, we penalized this team this many times. Yeah, we did the same for them." That was it. Doesn't matter if it was fair or not. It's just like I said, it was bad timing, and really, you need people upstairs looking down at this and saying, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, we need to get our stuff straight because you got two teams on the line here." You know what I mean? Someone's going home after this, and it's not fair. I mean, if I'm a ref, I'd almost want to say I don't want to call those games because if it's gone bad, my car is going to be trashed.
The career.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, Blaine, real quick, since we're getting a little bit low on time here, how amazing is it for a team in a league with a salary cap to do what the Patriots have done, to go to basically 7 of the last 8 championship games, to go to the Super Bowl over and over again, to turn over players? I mean, just kind of put it in perspective, just how amazing it is, and I'll get your thoughts on that, and then we'll say goodnight. So why don't you go first, Blaine, and then we'll hear from you, Coach.
Okay, it's unbelievable because it's not supposed to happen. It's going totally against what the league is designed to do. The league is designed for parity, and you got this one team that just that's defied all of that. Now, fortunately for them, they've got a coach who's a GOAT. They got a quarterback who's a GOAT. So they got the right combination there. They got a system of replacing players, a perfectly tuned system, replacing players, getting rid of players, no matter how good they are or how bad they are to coming in. They can fit them to the system and make it work for them. And if they, when they're done with them, they just eject them and bring somebody else in. That's it. That's it. You can't find, and it can't be duplicated. Why? Because these other teams don't have that combination of quarterback and coach and system.
I think what I've heard is that basically Brady's being with the Patriots has closed out more than over $30 million that he's missed out on opportunities due to the fact of sticking with this team. And he's done it for the reasons he doesn't need that extra cash because he's got everything else with endorsements and etc. But he also saw a division, just like his coach did, of leading this team into something that is a dynasty that nobody else is going to be able to match for whoever knows. And with that, when you have a quarterback and a coach, and you've also got some other players that have stuck around long enough to say, this is where you want to be. If you can handle what this coach wants from you and to get into a playoff, possibly, if not championships, within the next year or two, as that time has gone on, what player does not want that? Because with that, if you can put aside just looking at the dollar figures, realizing that you've got something that others will never, ever get, but you also get endorsements. You're also going to get tons of other things coming your way. And Brady and Belichick set that in stone, and where these players bought into the system. They bought into this system and said, this is where it has to be. If I'm good enough and I can play on this team, I will be successful. And as simple as that.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. And the fact that he consistently gets rid of some of their best players before he pays them and brings in players that other teams have rejected or haven't been able to get the best out of, and just makes them work. I think it's one of the most amazing coaching jobs in history. And, I can't wait to see those two teams go back at it again next year. I think that.
And who runs the system?
Yeah. Who runs what system?
He runs it.
Oh, he runs it from top to bottom.
The Patriots system. Yeah.
That's top to bottom him. And you can see it when his coaches go other places and fail.
I'm waiting to see what happens when he leaves. I don't really care what's going to happen when Brady leaves. I'm waiting to see what happens when Belichick leaves.
And that's why Daniels is going to be the next one stepping up, McDaniels.
I don't think I don't think Belichick stays when Brady leaves.
I don't either.
No.
I don't either.
That'll be the
Or
two
vice
of them riding
versa.
off. The two of them will be riding off in the sunset together. Put it that way.
Yeah.
But even if they win, I don't think they read off. I don't think they close it down this year.
Not yet. It's the Thelma and Louise. They're Thelma and Louise, them two.
Yeah. Well, we'll look at that next week. So next week, we will get into our Super Bowl review. So for Coach Shane and for Baltimore Blaine, this is Chris Rose telling you good night and thanks for listening.
Bye.